Montana Television Network. Montana This Morning continues on Montana's News Leader.
A father is arrested in connection with the disappearance of his wife and 2 young daughters. I'm John Schumo with details from police in Colorado.
And wildfires continue to burn across Montana. Coming up, unique video, the destructive fire in Glacier National Park, and an update on fires in Gallatin and Madison counties.
6:30 on this Thursday. Chet Lehman, Missy O'Malley with you here. Our top story, a tragic end to a missing persons case in Frederick, Colorado.
A man there reportedly confesses to murdering his wife and 2 young daughters. CBS's John Schumo has our details.
Their disappearance shocked family, friends, and neighbors in a quiet Colorado town. Shannon Watts, 15 weeks pregnant, and her 2 young daughters, Celeste and Bella, suddenly missing without a trace early Monday morning. Christopher Watts made an emotional appeal for his family's return.
If somebody has her, just please bring her back. I need to see everybody. I need to see everybody again. This house is not complete without anybody here.
But the investigation led police to Christopher, the husband and father arrested late Wednesday. CBS 4 in Denver received a statement from Shannon's family that read, "It is with deep hurt, confusion, and anger to confirm our beautiful cousin, Shannon Watts, her unborn child, and her 2 angelic daughters were viciously murdered by husband Chris Watts, who confessed to the killings." Police haven't confirmed that confession, nor have they released any information on the whereabouts or conditions of the missing wife or daughters. Watts himself, though, hinted at trouble at home.
Did you guys get into an argument before she left?
It wasn't like an argument. We had an emotional conversation, but I'll leave it at that. But I just want them back.
Neighbors are struggling to make sense of what went wrong.
She was a beautiful woman, beautiful children. She loved them so much.
Police say Watts is being held at the Weld County Jail. No charges have yet been filed. John Schumo, CBS News.
Police in Frederick have scheduled a news conference on the case at 10:30 this morning with new information.
We'll continue to follow that story. Meantime, updating now the fires burning in our area. Bacon Rind fire remains steady, 1,388 acres. A blaze continues to burn about 20 miles south of Big Sky along the Custer-Gallatin National Forest and Yellowstone National Park border. Fire visible along U.S. Highway 191 between Big Sky and West Yellowstone. Road remains open, but may be altered to 1-lane traffic with a pilot car depending on the behavior of the fire. Nearly 70 staff members continue to fight that blaze.
And meantime, a pair of fires burning in the Gravelly Range Mountains south of Ennis. They've now scorched more than 6,700 acres. The Monument Fire is 5% contained, and it's listed at 5,400 acres. The Wigwam Fire is more than 4,000 acres, and right now 0% containment. 4 helicopters are currently assigned, and additional crews and equipment are in order. The lightning-caused fires are located south and west of Ennis in very rough, mountainous terrain at 9,000-foot elevation.
Now, some residents near Essex on the south border of Glacier National Park are being told they need to be ready to leave due to wildfire danger. Flathead County Sheriff Chuck Curry issued evacuation warnings due to the possibility of the Paola Ridge fire moving closer to the community. Deputies directly notifying affected residents. U.S. Highway 2 remains open at this time, but drivers are being asked to slow down in the area due to smoke and emergency vehicles using that area.
And here's a look at the destructive fire in Glacier National Park. Right here, we're looking at time lapse of just how rapidly the Howell Ridge fire grew early this week. The fire is burning more than 2,600 acres. Numerous homes and structures have been destroyed. Now, thankfully, no one has been injured that we know of at this point.
Matt now joins us here at 6:34. Weather is going to be a factor for these fires. Most of the fires, in fact, all the fires we're talking about, lightning started. And now we're moving into a situation where we may see some more of that.
We may start to see some lightning, and as a result, our fire danger is starting to climb across the area over the course of the next couple of days. In fact, the latest model runs pushing our wildfire danger in the mining city up late this afternoon, 3s, 4s, 5s, even 6 reported on that. So we'll be watching that. The few afternoon thunder showers are possible today. Most area temperatures very cool this morning. That actually helps the firefighting efforts quite a bit. We still have that smoky haze out. Late in the afternoon, early part of the evening, a few isolated thunder showers are possible, mainly west of the divide. Tomorrow, a little more widespread. We're going to talk about the timing of all that in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Matt. 6:34 now, again on this Thursday. The body of a missing hiker in the Crazy Mountains has been found. Around 2 o'clock yesterday afternoon, search and rescue crews located the body of a 39-year-old man from Michigan. He was reported missing Monday night when he didn't return from a hike. His body found in a steep, rocky canyon in Sweetgrass County. He was volunteering with the Rocky Mountain Goat Alliance with Montana Department of Fish, Wildlife and Parks. His identity has not yet been released.
Montana and federal courts are in the process of determining whether the Green Party will have candidates on the ballot in Montana this November. But Montana's top election official says he wants them on the ballot, even if it's ruled later that they shouldn't be. MTN's Mike Dennison has more on this request.
5 weeks ago, a state judge in Helena ruled that all 5 of the Montana Green Party's 2018 candidates will not appear on the ballot this fall because of invalid signatures on petitions that qualified the party. That ruling is now on appeal to the Montana Supreme Court, and another lawsuit was filed this week in federal court to reinstate the candidates. But also this week, Montana Secretary of State Corey Stapleton asked the state Supreme Court to allow him to place Green Party candidates on the ballot, possibly before the case is decided. He says if the courts rule in favor of the Green Party, its candidates' names will be assured of being on the ballot, which must be certified by his office on August 23rd, just 1 week away. If the courts were to rule after that deadline that Green Party candidates remain invalid, Stapleton says any votes cast for them this fall simply won't be counted. The Montana Democratic Party, which won the initial ruling to invalidate the Green Party, says putting Green Party candidates' names on the ballot regardless is a terrible idea. It said on Wednesday that the Supreme Court should reject the request, and that having Green Party candidates on the ballot if they're invalid would only create confusion and cause people to have their votes uncounted. All these arguments could be a moot point, however. Stapleton's office told MTN News Wednesday it's expecting the state Supreme Court will offer some direction by next Thursday. Reporting from Helena, Mike Dennison, MTN News.
Now, the Green Party candidate does have candidates who filed to run for the U.S. House, U.S. Senate, and the state legislature as well.
Education news this morning. Belgrade High School has had ongoing remodeling and expansion construction. Currently, the school can hold 900 students. Once construction is complete, Belgrade will be able to hold 1,300 students. Construction began about a year ago, will continue through this school year. Martel Construction, company working on the high school, has ensured students' learning won't be interrupted during that process.
Making sure that the students are not out in portable buildings. The one thing I gave them a specification, the specification was no students out in portable buildings.
Now, students and staff still able to move about in that building safely during construction. The project expected to be completed by the fall of 2019.
And housing values are going up in Butte. MTN's John Amy tells us why Butte's home prices are booming.
In just 1 year, Butte's housing values made a significant jump.
Well, I'm going to tell you, like last year, our average price of the houses sold was $143,000. This year to date, it's $173,000.
Realtors credit homebuyers from Bozeman and Missoula for turning their sights on Butte.
West Coast towns like LA and Seattle have moved into Bozeman and Missoula, and in turn have priced a lot of people out of their homes. So they're moving into Butte and Helena.
Increased home values in Bozeman comes with increased sticker shock.
We're seeing average price of a house in Bozeman is $462,000. How can a new family afford that?
The recent interest in Butte real estate has seen the mining city get absorbed by the Bozeman market when Butte joined the Big Sky Country MLS in December.
So we're pulling in investors and buyers from all over Western Montana into Butte. So we are seeing multiple offers on houses. We're seeing increased values in houses.
With housing values on the rise, those in the industry still don't believe people in Butte are going to get priced out of town like they did in other communities.
I'm going to tell you, Butte's going to be a steady Eddie. We always are. We didn't have huge crashes when the economy crashed. We didn't have big booms. We're really steady. I don't think we're going to have this crazy influx of people. I think it's going to be a nice, slow, steady growth.
Hopefully without too many growing pains. In Butte, John Amy, MTN News.
Now, Kelly adds that with interest rates still below 5%, it's a great time to buy a house in Butte.
For sure.
There you go. Yep. There you go. Stay with us. We have to take a quick break. Coming up next, we're going to test out some minivans. The Insurance Institute for Highway Safety is out with a new round of crash tests, and we have the report card for all sorts of vans in just a moment.
But first, let's check in with Gail King, see what's coming up at 7 o'clock on CBS This Morning.
Head on CBS This Morning, the fallout from President Trump's decision to revoke former CIA Director John Brennan's security clearance. Fran Townsend, former Homeland Security Advisor to President George W. Bush, is here with why she calls it disturbing. And the remarkable story of a hiker who fell into a ravine on Mount St. Helens. He survived for 6 days. What did he eat? Berries and, bees. Yep, bees. B-E-E-S. Those stories and more we'll see at 7 o'clock on the dot.